Hello, this is Richard Hobbs. I believe this is the Richard Hobbs channel. It might be richardpaulhobbs@gmail.com. It may be that you have to put that in to actually find it when you do a YouTube search. I don't know. And it is Thursday morning, April the 5th, 2018. This copy is copyrighted by Richard Hobbs at richardpaulhobbs@gmail.com. All rights reserved. If you want to copy it, you can permission to share it and to on social media. But if you want to copy it or use it in any way where you're receiving compensation for using it, then you need to get permission from me to use what's said on all of my programs and all of my writings and all of my documents. And I wrote it, so you need my permission. In most cases, that involves you paying a fee for being able to use my copyrighted material. In other cases, it's other things. Sometimes we have variations, but you need to contact us in writing or in person and get in writing an answer. Otherwise, it won't be considered valid by me, the person who owns the copyright. And I'll consider you impugning, and stealing from me according to the American law. But maybe I'll be wrong. I can always be wrong. That's the problem, is that any of us can always be wrong. And usually when we are wrong, we don't notice it. It's hard for us to notice because our prejudice and our pride and our selfishness and our self-centeredness tend to cause us to keep doing what's wrong and not notice that we're doing what's wrong. We can notice when everyone else does what's wrong, but not us. And I'm one person that does the same thing. And as far as I know, if it's true, the only one who never did anything wrong was the person whose name was Jesus Christ. Yah Shua, meaning God saves. That's a Hebrew name. But now, this is Thursday morning. Yesterday I was informed in the afternoon by Antoinette that the inspector was showing up today because she and Section 8 and whoever else is in charge and doing what they seem to be able to do, which is to do things the way they want to do them, and they're trying to help me, apparently, to do everything right, to try and keep me from losing my Section 8 and to try and get the landlady paid if she deserves to be paid and not if she doesn't. So let's see what happens. In the meantime, everybody's doing everything and getting paid. And me, last night I slept without any heat in this apartment. And you can see that I'm wearing a coat and I'm indoors because I've had to wear coats and clothes all night, every night, for the last many years that I've been in this apartment. Certainly for the last year, the last 2 years, the last 3 years, going back to 5 years. That, as far as I know, there's never been a reliable heat in this apartment in the nighttime. The heat seems to go off around midnight, or maybe a little later, and it goes back on around 6 or 7 in the morning. I don't know exactly. I don't have the ability to get something that will keep the track of the temperature electronically. And I had thermometers, but no matter which way I do it, the only one who can tell about that is me. And what I intend to do to prove it is I intend to sue the landlady for the last 5 years, and maybe Section 8, that they've allowed me to live in these conditions for all this time while they're getting paid to make sure that it should be done right, and it's not being done right. And I have certain problems today. One problem I have is that the refrigerator, which she's given me from the beginning, never had more than one shelf in it. And I don't know if you have a refrigerator, but how many shelves do you have in it? Now take them all out, leave one shelf in there, and show me how you get to use that refrigerator in any way that makes sense. In addition, the water that's served in Yonkers is contaminated. So I need to and want to have a water filter here. Otherwise, I'm drinking contaminated water, for which I'm going to sue the landlady and the city of Yonkers and the water supply and the EPA. And for the not having heat, I'm going to sue the landlady. And the way I'm going to sue the landlady, because I'm poor, I can't depose people. When I go into the court as a poor person, I don't have the same rights as a non-poor person. I can't depose anyone, because in order to depose someone, you got to be able to pay for a court reporter. So the court reporters are the ones who decide who can afford to go to court and win a case and who can't. Because the way you win a lawsuit is you depose everyone. You get all the facts and figures. You get everything agreed upon by the two parties, and then you go to court. And then in many cases, when you go to court that way, the case is settled before you go to court, but then the amount that is settled for is a secret. Now, that doesn't help the poor people. All it does is make the legal system violate the rights of poor people against the rights of those who are lucky enough, winning the lottery, of finding an attorney who's willing to take their case. Well, attorneys are only going to take your cases if they don't have to do any work, and all they can do is, in other words, if the case isn't almost certainly going to be won, they're not going to take the case. So then if they're going to take the case that you have as a poor person, they're going to be certain that they're going to win. Otherwise, they won't take it. That's why they'll do a contingency basis. So you have all these people on TV telling you to call up if you have a lawsuit, and then they don't get to have the lawsuit because the lawyers say, well, you're not going to have a case because this is too hard for us to have, and we don't want to have it. Now I'm going to stop. The inspector's here. I'll continue afterwards. Thank you.